Ooh. Tiff and the Punisher, we ride tonight. Give me back my kids, or we burn this fight. Tiff and the Punisher, hear the battle cry. Mamas and daddies won't watch our babies die. We won't war. We won't war till every stolen child walks back through the door. Tiff and the Punisher, this is war. They kicked in my door, guns drawn at dawn. Took my little girl while I was still holding on. Said best interest with a smile full of lies. Now that same smile's gonna watch the system die. I turned pain into rage, turned tears into flame. Tiff got the truth and I'm calling your name. From the courthouse steps to the governor's gate, every thief in a badge is gonna feel this hate. Tiff and the Punisher, we ride tonight. Give me back my kids, or we burn this fight. Tiff and the Punisher, hear the battle cry. Mamas and daddies won't watch our babies die. We won't war. We won't war till every stolen child walks back through the door. Tiff and the Punisher, this is war. Judges taking bribes, workers getting rich, while my son cries himself to sleep in a stranger's crib. Termination paper signing innocent blood, but the tide just turned, here comes the flood. We the parents you forgot, we the storm you made. Tiff and the Punisher leading the raid. No more begging, no more tears on the floor. We taking back tomorrow and we settle in the skull. Can you hear us coming? Million boots on the ground, the revolution's here. Feel the thunder sound.
Tiff and the Punisher, we ride tonight. Give me back my keys, or we burn this fight. Tiff and the Punisher, hear the battle cry. Every stolen child coming home tonight.
We won't war. We won't war till justice runs red and the guilty hit the floor. Tiff and the Punisher, this is war. The war.
We know it's all about the money, we know they lie, we know this is corruption. Does CPS know what they are doing to the children?
Tiff and the Punisher,
This is war.
we're coming for our kids. Tiff and the Punisher, they won't back down. Fight for the children in every town. are taking our kids every day. I shout them in and no one has a thing to say for those who have been isolated. Don't be worried, you have a voice today. So listen up everyone, here is the story. Child Protective Services is real. CPS is what they call it. They want our kids because it fills a lot of people's wallet. We all think it won't be us. We say when they come we will be so tough. It all sounds good when there's no one to take them. But when they come, your voice gets to breaking. Stay calm, step away. CPS ain't taking no one today. We are educated. Stay calm, step away. CPS, you need to leave. I know the tricks up your sleeve. You can't do what you're trying to do. We have done our homework. Don't do a damn thing without a warrant. You no longer will steal our kids this way. Tiff and the Punisher have come for the calling. They are giving us the CPS warning. Their voice is loud and clear. We stop losing our kids this year. Tiff wants to fight the entire planet. She is tired of our kids being taken, god damn it. She's been fighting CPS for 30 years, bringing children home from this disgusting mess. The Punisher is screaming out loud, abolish CPS and tear it down. I want all our kids to come back. Look at all those kids' pictures held up like thin tags. Together we are stronger than we need. We will tear down CPS with high speed. We will do so much being together. Birds of a feather flock together. So watch out CPS, here we come. Picking you one by one. We promise to bring back the family and prosecute the caseworkers unhandily. Give us back the kids you have taken. Tiff and the Punisher sending you all on a vacation. The one with bars in the windows and the only games you play are old Nintendos. Corruption in courts, here we come. We won't stop until it's done. You judges need to learn what you stand for. This is Tiff and the Punisher warrior, and we cry out to all of you out there. We need support for a cause that many don't care. All children are being stolen way too often. So CPS, we plan on doing the stopping. Stopping.
Hey, Darren, what's up?
How are you?
I'm exhausted.
You're exhausted? You've been doing that Thanksgiving cooking
Yeah, I have.
and the bacon and all of that stuff for everybody out there. This
Yeah,
is a tough time for everybody out there, you know.
it is a tough time for everybody.
Especially these ones that'll watch out for the big man behind me here. That's my buddy Shane walking out of the studio. He's checking out. Watch out! I gotta move forward. Get him out of the scene here. There we go. Surprised half the thing didn't fall down. But it's a very tough time for people, you know. So if anybody needs anybody out here, you know how to get a hold of us. There's ways that you can get a hold of us. There's also numbers that you can call. I think what is it, 988, I think, or 288? I'll look that up. If you guys really need to have somebody and you really got to talk to somebody, then make sure that you do call somebody. But like I said, I'll put my number up here for any of you guys that need to talk to somebody tonight. If you guys are having a rough time, don't just use it to call me up and say, Darren, I burnt my turkey. But if you really need to, if you guys definitely need someone because you just can't handle it, you guys are more than welcome to call me. And this will be the number I'll put up here right now that you guys can call me at.
And I'll be checking my messenger, so you can hit me up on Messenger if you need to throughout the day tomorrow. And we are going to do a show tomorrow too.
We just don't know when, what time,
Yeah,
or whatever.
we just don't know what time. So we want everybody to check in tomorrow when they see us go live. So hit your notifications.
Yep, do all that. There we go. We are up there. That's my number. If any of you guys need that to get in touch with me, then please do. Like I
Watch
said,
for Deidre, because
yeah.
I want to know what happened with her court case.
Yeah.
John, if you want to come on tomorrow with us, you can. I
Yeah.
don't have your information, or I would have sent you the link. I don't have it.
Yeah, maybe we'll have a Be Thankful show tomorrow, and anybody that wants to come on and do it, they can.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Look at me, big brains on Darren. Here I am.
Well, you've always had the big brains. That's why all this stuff looks so good.
Yes, it is. Thank you very much for that. See, thankful for that. Let's do that. Let's call that tomorrow. We'll do the big the Be Thankful Day. So when we do decide that we're going to come on, whoever wants to join us, then you're more than welcome to, and you can come on and say whatever you'd like to say and whatever you want to do or whatever.
Deidre says she's coming.
All right, good. That's good.
And my friend ran to the McDonald's to get her granddaughter something to eat, so she'll be back too.
Oh, a Happy Meal?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, that's nice. How much do Happy Meals cost these days, and what do they put in them for toys?
Junk and junk.
Right. Good. So, got that one settled. So yeah, that's it. That's that. If you guys got anything, don't go to McDonald's because Tiff says it's junk and junk.
Oh well, I eat McDonald's. I'm
No,
not.
You know what? I'm a Wendy's. I go to Wendy's. I'm a
I
Wendy's.
like Wendy's too.
Yeah, I'm a total Wendy'ser. Junior bacon cheeseburger. Bacon cheeseburger, no mayonnaise.
No. Tried their chicken sandwich. They have the absolute best chicken sandwiches ever.
Really? I've never really thought of going to Wendy's for a chicken sandwich, to be honest.
That's why I go to Wendy's.
Oh, no kidding. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What was the guy's name there? Dave Thomas.
Yeah.
You know that they were heavily involved with I believe that they got into a little thing, didn't they not, with trafficking children and that stuff? Pretty sure that they did. They found their money to be corrupt or something along those lines for the foster families, because they were supposed to be big advocates at one point of that stuff. And then here, let me look.
Don't tell me that, or I will go get another Wendy's chicken sandwich.
Well, better hurry up, send Babe over real quick and do it before I tell you about this. Let's see here. Wendy's,
I know Jared from Subway was arrested for pornography of children.
Yeah. And human trafficking.
And see, and you know what? You know what's funny? Like when we have people come on, we tell them they have to tell the truth, right? Or all our hosts. Because that's the shit that makes people look bad. Right.
And I do a good enough job just by the appearance, so we don't need any more help with that. Yep. Here we go. Wendy's, the boycott fast food. Or effectiveness combating human trafficking, and then it comes out that Wendy's is standalone, the last of the 5 major fast food corporations that refused to join the Fair Food Program. Where is it? Okay. Human trafficking. Okay, wait a minute. Here we go. So maybe I'm right or wrong, but let's see here. You found your Cocker Spaniel in the middle of the table enjoying turkey. Whoa. Oh my, classic CPS corruption. My God. Yeah, that's a cocker. That's a cocker right there. Wow. Boy, that kind of reminds me of the Christmas Story, right? Goddamn Bumpus' dog's getting in the middle of the table. Oh boy, we froze up for a minute. This is just getting out of control. This is getting crazy. Absolutely insane. Wendy's. Wendy's human trafficking. Are you there, Tiff?
Yeah.
Hello, Tiffany. Tiffany.
I'm sorry, my house is a little loud right now. I couldn't hear what you were saying.
I was just saying whatever. I don't mean what I was saying. I feel like this is the human trafficking healthcare Wendy's story. The red flags are going to response and other resources.
Deidre, are you in the back room?
Let's see. I know that woman. Let me see here. Is Deidre here? Let's see. I don't know. Traffic in America. Ooh, that's a good one. Maybe we'll watch that sometime next week. Here's a good little Joe Rogan expert. It's kind of off topic a little bit, but here's I just want everybody to take a peek at this. Is Deidre in there with us? This is about 8 minutes, guys, but this is a really good interview.
Go ahead and show it while I get my house in order.
I'm trying to. Don't worry.
U.S. Marshal. Wow, 72 million missing children.
Missing.
Excuse me, 72. Let's say million. 72 missing children across Indiana, Iowa.
All right, let's start this over. All right, here we go.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Human trafficking. That's another thing that we don't talk about.
Yes, that is another thing that just goes in and out of the news. We were talking about on the podcast the 39 or 35 kids that were rescued in Georgia.
Yeah.
And it was a blip in the news. But meanwhile, I saw 1,000 articles on how mean Ellen is.
Yes.
Ellen's mean. She's so mean. Meanwhile, there's people are out there risking their life to stop human trafficking. They're rescuing children from human trafficking.
Yes.
What is this? U.S. Marshal. Wow, 72 million missing children.
Missing.
Excuse me. 72. Let's say million. 72 missing children across Indiana, Iowa, Ohio, and Georgia in the past several weeks. In the past several weeks. So what is this is where these. So when you read an article like that, U.S. Marshals rescued 72 missing children. This is where all the QAnon people get crazy because they think that Donald Trump is secretly working behind the scenes to stop child trafficking. Yep. There's some secret cabal in the government that wants to enable this shit, and then Facebook bans QAnon, and everyone's going crazy now.
Yeah.
This child trafficking thing is real. It has always existed.
Did you know that Houston is actually one of the hubs for child trafficking in the U.S.?
Really?
Yes, it is.
Now, how do they find out? How do they infiltrate?
So usually it's local law enforcement that recognizes some abnormalities in the behavior of some of the children. Usually it's certain areas, certain shops, certain businesses that are kind of harboring these people. A lot of them just get stopped because, it's kind of really odd if you're in a van or an 18-wheeler and then there's 20 kids in it. It's weird. And we as a culture, have got to work with local law enforcement to start to curb this thing, because that's where the rubber meets the road. I don't know if you saw the story. I don't know if you could pull it up, sir, but if you saw the story about the flight attendant that helped out.
Yes, the girl.
That recognized the abnormality of a girl on a flight by herself.
Yes. And they had the authorities on the ground when the plane landed. Yeah.
Waiting.
Yeah.
We have got to see more of that. And so this is how we talked about in the Army. You got to police your own troops. We got to police our own. If we are just acutely aware of the abnormalities and the behavior of young children who clearly are under duress, to it.
Why is this not a bigger story in mainstream news? This is one of the things that concerns me. I don't understand why you're not seeing this on CNN. This is
every day.
Yeah.
Why aren't we seeing this every day on CNN?
Right. That story right there should be leading on
everything.
Primetime news.
Everything.
That should be leading. 72 missing children rescued.
Yes.
So how are they can't, it can't be just discovering what these kids in a truck, or they see a kid on a plane acting weird and that's how they catch everybody. Like, how are they infiltrating? Like, how, because there's also a bunch of guys that are former spec ops guys that are working to fight child trafficking. How are they doing this?
So the solution to this, in my opinion, and I'll get to your answer in a second. The solution to this, in my opinion, is, and I would be in huge favor of literally starting a separate task force to address this in known hotspots. The other way we're finding out, as to answer your question, the other way that we're finding out as to how they're infiltrating is really if you go to hubs of the world, like Houston, you go to coastal cities where people are actually bringing people into the country. That's exactly where you're going to be. So if you just kind of hang out around these areas, then you'll see a lot more of it. You'll discover a lot more of it. And so Houston has become kind of one of those hubs because of its geographic location. It's actually near a port city. And obviously, people are coming through port cities at a higher rate. Cargo's coming through at a higher rate. And so we're actually able to track that at a better rate. If you just kind of hang around the hoop, you'll find it.
Mm. So how are these people communicating?
Oh, my goodness.
It seems like if the government can use programs like Edward Snowden revealed, like how are they organizing these things, and where are they getting these kids from?
They get these kids from actually all over the world. A lot of them are coming from impoverished communities. A lot of them are coming from impoverished countries, and they're just shipping them in. A lot of them come from Asian countries, actually. And a lot of them come from right here in the U.S. And this is something that dawned on me, is particularly with having two girls now, and that is, it's also my job to continue to protect them and all of these young people, and it's actually young boys as well. It's not just young ladies. It's actually incumbent upon them to keep them safe. If we can't keep them safe, then what are we doing here? Literally, like, that's our role now. You know, as fathers and as responsible human beings, is keeping our young people safe. And the biggest thing is this: there clearly is an appetite and there clearly is a culture for it. What I want to do is, how do we place extreme punishment on those who behave in this and partake in this behavior? I tell you what, it could be happening right next door to somebody that seems to be a normal human being. But we have got to stop them. We have to stop the predator from feasting on our children.
Yeah.
And it's got to be demonized. Let's demonize that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. How are these people communicating, though? Are they doing it through the dark web? Are they doing it through forums? Are they using code? Like, how are they doing this?
I've heard all the above.
Yeah.
I've also heard communicating through just open email inboxes, right? They don't hit send, but they have the password for multiple emails, and they'll just go in, get the message, and then never open or close it, so it's impossible basically to track. It's just like a draft.
Oh, I see. Right. And so other people have the login to the account,
password, and
they check it out through the draft. Oh, that makes sense. You know, it's funny because this subject, because of things like Pizzagate, the subject became so taboo that no one wants to talk about it because it sounds preposterous, because Pizzagate was so preposterous. Right. The guy shows up and with a gun looking for kids that are tied up in the basement, and everybody's like, oh my God.
There's nobody here.
everyone's wacky. These child sex trafficking fanatics that are interested in this and that are trying to stop this, they're all crazy people.
Right.
But that's not really the case.
Right.
The problem with something like Pizzagate is that it confuses everybody.
Yeah.
And you start thinking that all this stuff is nonsense. But then these stories, they make it to these websites, and you see that this is a real thing. These are real news stories, but then they don't get talked about in mainstream.
That's right. And then we lose track of who the real enemy is.
Yeah, that's a real enemy, not Ellen.
And that's dangerous. You're right. Not
Ellen
Ellen.
being mean to her
Yeah,
sister.
CPS is the real enemy. Say it, Rogan.
Just what we care about is so bizarre. Yeah. It's such a symptom of how sick we are as a culture, and that our priorities are so skewed, and that this is sort of accentuated by our addiction to social media.
Yeah.
And that people are concentrating so much on things that are trivial and nonsensical. What's up, buddy?
I found an article on Reuters that said that like the mainstream media has been reporting on this. So like that, I'm looking through pages to find out details on different reporting of this. All I'm finding this on is like local news sites. So what does that mean though, that it's not being reported?
Well, you don't see it on CNN. You're not seeing it as like mainstream television news where it's a big subject that gets discussed, that we have a giant problem like this in this country. That's what I'm saying.
So I'm digging through here, and then like the human trafficking angle, according to what like the U.S. Marshals done here, it's 1 in 4 of these kids. So if it was 25 kids picked up, that's 6 or 7 of them were human trafficking. The other 20 or so are like kids that ran away or kids that were being abused. And they found them because they were missing. So some have been missing for 2 weeks, some up to 2 years.
Wow.
So not every kid is in a human trafficking.
That's those
sex trafficking
72.
situation.
That's 72.
Okay.
The ones,
Some of
the
them, we don't
35
even know
though
who
in
they are.
Georgia, I think
It's all
those
the same-
are all
it's all the
same
same
thing.
thing. Yeah.
Same kind of thing. So they're collecting, and then they're like reporting the numbers. So like they're collecting these 35 kids over a period of time, and then they're reporting we found 35 kids. So like it's a month later,
Right,
they
so
found 35
This
kids.
one from September, which should have been reported 5 weeks ago, says that they recovered 25 missing and endangered children over the last month. 1 in 4 was part of what they believe an alleged human trafficking situation.
Obviously, one is too many.
Yeah,
right?
obviously.
But so it seems like they're finding missing kids, and a percentage of them happen to be a part of human trafficking. And now here's the question: how many of the kids that are being human trafficked get discovered? We're finding this 5 here, 6 here. These
But how many actually are there?
How many of them actually are there? Do we know? We don't, right?
We don't.
Just the fact that it's a real thing is spooky as fuck.
It is. It's dangerous.
Yeah. It's terrifying. It's terrifying for fathers and mothers. And,
Yeah, it is.
You know, it's like the fact that, or brothers and sisters, the fact that it could be someone close to you.
Yes.
It's terrifying for everybody.
Episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience.
You know, there it is right there. You know, at the United Nations said that 84, I think it was 84% or 87% of the people, of the children that they save in around the world from human trafficking come right here from the United States from CPS, and they have crossed CPS paths. But everybody's too afraid to say it. They're too damn afraid to say it. And it's just disgusting. And even there,
Well, we're
you know,
not
like, come
afraid
on,
to
man,
say it.
I know we're not. You know who else isn't? Miss Deidre Payne.
Oh my gosh, finally.
There you are. Sorry.
Hi.
Deidre. Finally, she said.
I got no
Finally,
makeup on and I just got out the shower, so you should be lucky I'm even here.
Well, we are lucky that we have you, Deidre. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future.
Yes.
Happy
You act like
Thanksgiving.
I haven't been on your show before.
Well, it's been a minute, you know.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, well.
I'm here.
Yes, you are, thankfully. And I'm glad that you are. You're a strong person for that. That's for sure. What's going on?
Not a whole lot. Tiffany just spur of the moment called me, and she doesn't ever call me, and here I am out of the shower, and she's like, "You want to come on the show?" And I'm like,
Yeah, get on the show, Deidre.
"Here I am."
Here she is. What do you think about all this?
Technically, I was supposed to be doing my show literally right now, but
Instead, you're
my
here?
guest did a typical last minute. Oh, I need to reschedule.
Yeah, well, ours didn't because you're right there sitting in front of the screen. So perfect. That's how good we are. We can get last minute guests just like people quality like you, Deidre.
I look
Deidre
horrible without makeup
does-
on. Oh my lord.
So
Oh,
for
girl,
those of you
please.
that don't know, Deidre does her own show on Vincent Davis's platform. She does every Wednesdays, right, Deidre?
Yeah,
And it's
tonight.
are you a foster? What it's are you a CPS victim like me, right?
Are you a CPS victim like me? Yes.
Yes, that's Deidre's show. She does every Wednesday night. Deidre and I go way back.
When we
Back
used to do how to fight CPS and win.
Yeah, that's it. And well, we're still trying to figure that out. But we're getting closer. We're definitely getting closer. I actually have a clip right here that I want to show. Hold
Oh, is
on
it
a
one of the
second.
funny
Let me get
ones?
this one up. Yeah, because Margaret, Margaret watches this
Yes.
show.
Yes.
Religiously.
Please show that one.
She's
That
on
is
here.
hilarious.
And Margaret, so if you're watching too, this will be for you. Let me just find my my clips here that I can put on. But let me see clips. Most view channel audit achievements, thumbnails, blah blah. I put all these things on here. Watch later, like videos, your videos, downloads, show more clips. There you are. Boom. Now this has to be one of the funniest moments. And actually, if any of you guys know who Vincent Davis is and everything, to see him actually laugh was really something in itself. But yeah, let's here it is right here, guys. Check this out. Let me share screen. My computers. If anybody wants to buy us a new computer for production purposes for Christmas, we would actually welcome
Don't even
that.
get me started on computers. I'm still waiting for
Well,
that green screen or whatever
Yeah, Deidre's still waiting for a green screen. That's right.
from Darren
Yeah.
and a
So,
headset.
Yep. We split our ways. So here we go. Check this. There we go. Shoot.
My husband's motorhome, and I didn't live there. And they said that we lived in a place that had no running water, no this, no that. And I said, I live in Utah. I was just visiting his dad. I lived in Utah. And then I even got like in front of me what's so funny? That's why they took him, because of neglect. Not that. And I was just with my husband for 2 days in that motorhome.
My CPS
sorry.
So that was our moment right there, Deidre. That was a great time. So, and sorry, Margaret, for that, David. That was a good time. We all couldn't keep it together, but that was funny as hell.
There's a couple other ones with good old rest his soul, Mike Bartz.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, there's a bunch of them. But yeah. So what's going
Where
on in your
Davis
world?
was really laughing.
Yeah, he does have a laugh once in a while. He does.
Well, let's just say him and all of his personality and years of experience face to face. Oh Lordy, that's a whole nother circus show in itself.
Oh, is this Starstruck?
Let's just say that we went across the street to In-N-Out last court date, and that was just an awkward situation in itself. For the moment, we're going to lunch. And I'm thinking, oh shit, am I going to lunch with him? Sure enough, he goes, is your car clean? I'm like, yeah, why? Let's go to In-N-Out across the street. I'm like, oh my God, you wanted it the last time we were here, but it wasn't open yet. And there we go, off to In-N-Out. And
Well, I mean, they're regular people too. So what's up? What's going on with you, Deidre? Everything going all right? Everything going?
Yeah. The old saying goes, it gets worse before it gets better, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess usually it does. You hear any? Have you heard any?
Let's just say that they've made it to the point where you might as well consider me having no contact with them until my next court date, and I haven't seen them since September 20th. I think last time I was there.
Oh my!
Wow, that's awful.
So, yeah. But the flip side of that, to see Davis kind of in action, I mean, was kind of cool. But
Is it like they say it is? Is he like the man? Is he the man in there?
Let's just say that he comes out of the courtroom the second I get there, and he goes, well, we kind of have a problem. And I said, what's that? And he goes, the attorney that they gave your mom, because, you know, my mom decided that she needed to have counsel. I guess they found out that I had Davis on my case. So not only did they probably pick their number one attorney to go against Davis for my mom, but it's the one and only attorney out of like what, the 30 years he's been practicing out of Orange County that literally has it out for Davis because he did something I just really like got her good at one case. And so that's who my mother's attorney is. Go figure.
Oh my God.
And then the kid's attorney is like her little best friend, you might as well say. So those two are just, I mean, they're really laying it in to the point where Davis even had to kind of like, I think, do a little bit of like, how did he say it? Because he's so calm. He's so calm. And he always calls like anybody Madame social worker or Madame so-and-so, because he says it so calm and like it like respectful that it really pisses him off, you know, instead of like, and then the way he just tries to be so extra, like, oh, were you not finished talking? And then the judge said, I didn't ask her the question. I was asking you and, you know, your client. And he goes, oh, that's what I figured, but I didn't want to, you know, talk over so-and-so, Madame so-and-so. But I don't know. I mean, I don't want to talk too much about it because you know how that always goes. But there's definitely the dollar amount that very much follows his years of experience. Let's just say that too.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where I'm like, what did I get myself into for that matter? But I'm already in it, so sink or swim, right?
That's right. You know what? It goes anything for your kids, right? Like that's the way you got.
Well, yeah. But
so. There's nothing that you can't. There's no way that if God willing and God forbid that things don't work out right for you, there's no way. Come on, buddy. There's no way that you will walk away from this going that you didn't overturn or turn over every stone that you possibly could have turned over, that you didn't do everything that you possibly could have to get your kids back, that you didn't. You know what I mean? Like there's no way that you will have that.
Well, the kicker to everything is when my mom obviously found out that, you know, I hired an attorney, but according to my once called godmother / aunt that was also interviewed from out of state, she made a comment saying something like, she doesn't understand how I can afford to go out to Vegas, you know, once a month, twice a month, spend all this money, get the Airbnb, the rental car, all the money I spent on the kids. And now I have the money to have hired a celebrity attorney. So then she goes on to say, in quotes, she must be selling drugs.
Oh my God.
So then the extra kicker to that is my mom has made it very clear that yes, she's over having my kids. She don't want them, but she doesn't want them to come back home to me. And they obviously don't want me to get my kids back because then all the money goes away. So now their brilliant idea was, thinking they were going behind my back, but obviously the kids let me know, to bring in my cousin that's only like in her early 20s, but has had no kids and is trying to take custody of my kids.
That's not going to happen.
To the point where they literally have interviewed the kids by themselves, cornered them to the point saying, who do you want to live with? Mom, my cousin, or my grandma? And just so you know, if you go back home to mom and something happens to where we have to take you from mom, you're going to go back to, what is it called? Orangewood, what I call like the jail that they first put them in, that they're just so traumatized from, or foster care. So of course, what did my middle child do? Freeze up like probably any kid would, and said, well, I guess I want to go with my cousin because, you know, God forbid I go to foster care or whatever. And I choose, you know, my mom second. And I'm thinking, oh my God, now they're totally brainwashing them. I'm like, how are they able to do this? All this kind of stuff. Yeah. And then basically my oldest is so stuck in, no, I want to go home. I don't freaking care. I want to go home. I want to go home. I want to go home. Then they told the kids that my cousin had already moved out and got a house and is renting a house. I come to find out in my 79-page report that we got emailed the morning of court, 79 pages. Every time Davis went into court, because I didn't go in until the very end. We were there all day. But every time he'd come out, he's like, are you done yet? Are you done yet? I'm like, no, I'm only on page 45. And he's like, can you believe 79? He goes, I don't think in all the years I've been doing this that I've had a report that long. I mean, they are just trying to pull anything and everything. But anyways, they literally have already told the kids that she has a house and has a bedroom for each of them. Come to find out in the report, she's still living in her high-rise, one-bedroom little apartment, and said that the kids can have her room and she will move herself into her den/living room. What the hell? Like, already they're lying to the kids, but yet the only thing they're holding against me right now, and that I don't really want to speak too much more about it because it might backfire, but I've been going out to Vegas for what? A little over 2 years now, for almost 3 years. Every month, if not twice a month. And for the first year and a half, Calvin, my husband, their father, was coming with. My mom was fine. All of a sudden, something got pissed off with my mom and Calvin, of course. And so she made a rule of Calvin can't come anymore or else you can't have him or see him. Well, Calvin came every single time after that. We just did a lot of hiding in the trunk or going inside McDonald's or whatever, And the only thing I told my kids, no matter what, because this is what David said, at the end of the day, do not let the judge think you're lying about anything. Because once he finds out you're lying, your credibility's gone and I can't save you.
Right.
If you
lose
end
your
up saying
credibility in
something that
trouble.
you think might hurt your case and you're telling the truth, let me do what I have to do then. But don't lie. So what did I tell my kids at the end of the day? I've always told them, just tell the truth. So what's the one thing that basically bit me in the ass is when my mom found out that Calvin's been coming along to not one, not two, but every single visit. And she knew that I basically played her and she's taking that to the fullest and they're all running with it. Because, I'm not living with Calvin right now because I thought that would be the best way to get my kids back. And I told the social worker that. And Davis even said, after she asked me the third time, so why are you and Calvin not living together? And he goes, Madame social worker, is that not the third time you've asked her the same question? I believe she's going to give you the same answer the third time you've asked her. And she said it was because she felt like it would be the best way that she'd get her kids back. So anyways, he's not living with me right now. And they think that basically because he came along all those times and the kids were basically not meant to lie, but just not say that he was there, they think now that I get the kids back and he's just going to come right back.
But here's the thing.
They're using this big long thing that I made the kids then lie, supposedly, which I didn't really make them lie. They just didn't come forthcoming with the news. But when was asked, they said, yes, he's been coming along. And that's what they're using against me. The only thing now. So basically they think that I'm this big liar and, I'm manipulating the kids because, my mom didn't think that Calvin was coming. But then this is what Davis says, just so everybody knows on record, in the 3 years that they both have been coming to see the kids overnight for the whole weekend, unsupervised, there's been no issues. And we have videos and texts. I have every single text since day one of 5 years of this with my mom. And even from my kids saying, like, pouring their heart out, Mom, just hang in there. It's almost over, blah, blah, blah. And he just let that be known on record that he will also be making my kids testify as well as my mother, even if it has to be over Zoom. And I don't know. It was just really surreal because I was outside of the courtroom all day. And that's how they do it, I guess. All the attorneys go in, they come out. They go in, they come out. And it was just all day. Sitting on like a cement, you might as well say brick thing or whatever. All of a sudden, typical Davis comes out and goes, come in and don't say a word. I'm like, don't say a word. He said, is that what I said? I'm like, oh shit. I come in, the next thing you know, it's like all on like, I don't even know what you want to call it. Like everybody's around the table. There's like 10 of them, the judge, this and that. And then all of a sudden I'm just sitting there and Davis is standing there and then the other attorney. And it's dead silent. Nobody's saying a word and everybody's looking at each other for at least a good 2 minutes. And it felt like forever. And then all of a sudden the judge just basically says, okay, we're going to call this case matter. We're back on the record. And then they just start going at it. And I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, holy bejesus. Like, I mean, they're just, I don't know. Supposedly I'm at a prima facie part, but then supposedly we're going to be starting trial. I don't even know where I'm at or what I'm doing because it's very complicated. And I feel like they're just going to keep pushing it out to obviously make more money with that part. And then, keep me from the kids and then try and get me caught up somehow, some way. I don't know what. But they've cut off all communication and all visitation with me and the kids. This is the option they gave me. If I want to see the kids, I still would have to drive out to Vegas because I've always driven out there. She's never once brought them here, even though she said she would. I would have to drive out there. I would only get what I was ordered in the very beginning, which is 6 hours minimum. So I would have to drive all the way out there and only have 6 hours. And then I would have to have it be supervised and I would have to provide the supervisor. You mean to tell me I'm going to drive all the way out to freaking Vegas and then only see the kids for 6 hours and then have to find a supervisor, pay for it, and have them be on our backs? The kids are like, we'll tough it out, Mom, to the next court date. But then I'm afraid they might use that against me. So I don't know. But it's really like hard and corrupt. But Davis did say one thing about my cousin as far as they're going to be pissed when he brought this up, but he brought it up anyways because they didn't realize this. Something about the fact that even if they wanted to try and have my kids go with Elaine, they would have had to like take them from my mom's custody, do something else to try and put them back in CPS's, and then go back to like a detention hearing in order for my cousin to try and get custody. And he goes, if that's the case, then the burden of proof is on them. And he goes, and we already won then. He goes, so they already know she's not an option whatsoever. But now that just really pissed off my mom because my mom thought she had the plan of all plans. But so now if you really think about it, my kids are really being tortured because my mom just figured out her plan isn't working to ship them off to my cousin, but not let him come home. And she's really probably hurting because every time when I go out there, I would take them for like the whole weekend and sometimes like a week at a time because I would pick when they had like a day off or something. So it'd be longer weekend. And of course, she was like, yeah, happy. Here, take them. Make sure they go to church. Yeah, we'll go to church. And then one time she goes to the kids, you didn't go to church, did you? Yeah, we did. Your shoes aren't even creased. The next time they come out, we're rubbing their shoes out in the dirt and mud or something.
So
pathetic,
Carly said this came because Deidre sought help for her family. This all came about because Deidre called up and asked for help. Was for your husband, right? Was it for your husband?
We were in a family shelter. I was pregnant with my my third. I was 8 months pregnant, and then I had my oldest, which was like 6, and my middle that was like 5. They're 22 months apart. And so there was 4 of us, me being 8 months pregnant, in like a master-sized bedroom, but a big house. And we didn't have jobs because we just moved from like Bakersfield area to Tehachapi. And so we had to, ask the county for help for the first time. And we're in this shelter. Little did I know that not only me like seeking help, which would bring in, I guess, a social worker to interview my 5 and 6-year-old, but they saw that I was about to give birth. They had the eye on the prize. Mind you, everybody that doesn't know my full story, that's the child that I lost at the end of the day, sadly as that is. These foster parents that couldn't have children of their own. Gee, I wonder why God didn't bless them. But, the second that they got him, that was their plan. And sure enough, at our TPR hearing for our youngest, they have their own lawyer now that was coming in and basically saying we need to hurry this case along so that we can keep our son. And they're Mormon and they're blonde-haired and blue-eyed, as in my kid is half black, half white, and you know how he's being raised. And they did this to the same Hispanic little girl. Same scenario. She's like 9 months younger than my son. But anyway, so I was in a family shelter and, my husband was just going a little crazy. And so I went to the little like person that's there during the day at the house. I'm like, my husband needs some kind of like mental evaluation or something. Like he's just not right. So they came and did that. And then they interviewed my kids. Make a long story short, my oldest has always had a constipation issue, but he was old enough to let us know if he had shit in his pants so we can clean him. Because if not, he'd break out in a rash and it'd be double the problem. So my husband would get frustrated and be like, so-and-so, this is not okay. Like, you're old enough to tell us. Like, do you see this? Like, this is not okay. Tell us that you at least have in your butt so we can clean you. My 6-year-old told the social worker, my dad puts poop in my face. So not only did they say my husband was a little mentally off, who wouldn't be in this situation, but they said that he needed to leave the shelter. Like, where's he going to go? Obviously, we don't have a place. We only had one car. So he takes our one car, has nowhere to go. So then I'm like, okay, well, this isn't going to work. So I called the county up again and they gave us motel vouchers. So I moved us out of the shelter and we went to a motel. One night, the next day, knock, cops ripping our kids out of our hands because they said that I supposedly broke what I now know was the safety plan, saying that apparently Calvin couldn't be around the kids, but that's not what they told me. They told me he couldn't be back at the shelter. Mm-hmm. So I probably got screwed in all different kinds of ways.
He couldn't be around the kids?
They said that for the safety plan I had signed, that I thought just signing, meaning he had to leave the family shelter, he couldn't come back. No, I guess apparently it said that he couldn't be around the kids at all. So therefore, how did they even find out we went to the motel is what I want to know. I mean, I guess the county, I don't know what, but literally.
Why in the world
And
would
then,
a shelter? Why in the world would a shelter give you a safety plan?
No, CPS.
no, it was when
Oh,
the social
that's
worker came
needed.
in
Okay,
and
okay,
interviewed our
okay.
kids, and then
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
oldest said that little like poop in my face thing, and they saw I was about to give birth, because then that's the next part. So fast forward, they take my kids, and then I'm about to give birth, literally, and that's when I find out if I have an open CPS case and I give birth, they take my kids straight from the hospital, and that's sure enough what they did.
Wow.
My beautiful 1-month-old baby boy was handed to these, I don't even know what to call them anymore, kind of humans. And fast forward, and I even think that's why they kept my case going as long as they did, because they just wanted to run the time clock out. The attorney for my youngest, because he had his own attorney, said at our TPR hearing that, she understood I worked my case plan. My husband worked his case plan. He went through 3 different 18-week sessions with 3 different counselors that all gave all positive everything. I mean, we could go on and on like everybody else's case, but she said, she recognizes all of this, and if we just had a little bit more time, she could definitely see child returning back home. But unfortunately, we're out of time. So therefore, because the foster parents want to adopt, they get to adopt and we lose our rights. Now, my mom, she kind of got schooled in the right way, because she found out that if she were to adopt my kids, the money goes away. Well, the foster parents didn't care about the money. They wanted my kid. My mom, she only wants my kids for the money. So they said, why don't you just be the legal guardian, and then you'll get paid until they're 18. Sure enough, that's what she's been doing. $2,600 a month, and it's going on almost 6 years?
Well, I had the same kind of situation when my kids were younger. I actually had cancer, and my mom used to be a foster parent when I was growing up. So my mom was like, well, why don't you talk to the caseworker, blah, blah, blah. And I talked to her, and she's like, well, we can put the kids in an 89-day entrustment with their grandparents, which is their dad's parents. And while you go to treatment or whatever, blah, 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 and then you can just come and get them or whatever when everything is done and said and done. Well, when their grandparents found out that they was going to get money for them being there, next thing you know, my ex-husband was incarcerated. So when he got out, because I wanted a divorce, next thing you know, all of a sudden now I'm getting supervised visitation. I have to have all these evaluations done, all this other stuff that I ain't never had to do before, because I refused to I refused to not divorce my ex-husband, and then his parents turned around, and this went on for 3 years. His parents turned around and gave my kids to him while they were still under CPS.
See, but when you're on CPS's side, even if you're doing all the wrong things, you'll never get caught up because you're on their side. Meaning my mom, she was on their side the whole time, and they loved that. So they were like, yes, 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 you're one of us, you're against your daughter. But see, people that are for the family member, which every family should be, like, let's just say my mom was an actual real mother and cared about me and wanted me to get my kids back and wanted me to be reunited with my kids. I guarantee you they would have found some excuse to take them from my mom and put them in some kind of other situation so that they can continue getting the money. Because whatever is going to let the kids come back home, their funding stops, and that's all they care about.
Well, what I ended up doing is, because because they were still under CPS, and their parents were still his parents were still getting paid for my kids, but they gave my kids to him, and he abused them. So when I turned them in for him abusing them, they took my older 2 kids from school, and my youngest daughter, they took from him and turned around. I had to end up suing. So when I went to get an attorney, I went to legal aid, and legal aid said, well, we can't help you because he doesn't have an attorney. I said, no, but social services does. What are you talking about? As I said, well, technically my kids are still up underneath CPS. And she said, well, what are they doing with the father? I said, you tell me that. That's how I had to end up suing them. That's how I got my kids back after almost 3.5 years.
Well, there another side part to that is my mother-in-law, since day one, tried to get custody of all 3 of my kids, my newborn and my 2 other ones. And they made her go through all these different RFA improvement and classes and house inspections and everything. And little did we know that when we were at our TPR hearing, it was then put out in the notes that we were never told that she was completely approved for everything way back early on in the case, but because they put under my youngest son's placement that he was already in a permanent placement setting, they never did go further with my mother-in-law. But then here at the TPR hearing, when she's now there in person, trying to still fight for, my son and her grandson, they still said now, because 2 years has gone on, my child has now built a bigger bond with these people than he ever would with his own biological family. How does that even still make sense? I don't know. But so therefore they wouldn't still allow my kids to go with her. But then right when my case closed, guess who's the foster parent of 4 kids that aren't even related to her? My mother-in-law. Because why not? But that's pretty pathetic. She wasn't good enough for her own grandsons, but she's good enough for kids that aren't even hers.
I ran into that problem also when my son got incarcerated when he was 18, protecting his family, and his children's mom lost the daughter first. She was like 2 years old, lost her first, and she was staying with her parents. They took her from her mom and took her and gave her to her grandparents. So then when she had my grandson, they took my grandson and gave him straight from the hospital, like you, to their grandparents. So then I was trying to get them down here in Richmond where I was at. And the caseworker came there, lawyer came there, and everything was done, house visit and all this other stuff, had plenty of space and everything for them. For them to tell me I can't have my grandchildren because I'm not married to my boyfriend. I'm not the parent. I'm the grandparent. So my grandchildren ended up getting into foster care, where when they was in foster care when my granddaughter was 4 years old, she was molested by the 11-year-old's son.
Oh my God.
So then all this gets documented by the psychiatrist. They did the video and everything and all this other stuff. So when it comes down time to it, all of a sudden when CPS finds out that they're getting ready to get sued, the video footage is gone. The caseworker that was originally working on the case no longer works for CPS. I mean, it was the whole shit show.
That's why the whole system in its entirety, it's just, everybody always says, if I would have never had a CPS case and you told me that you got your kids taken, even Darren says it, I think Tiffany says it, I would have looked at you a little differently and thought, well, you must have done something wrong. They don't just take kids for no reason. Well, shit, howdy, until you get it brought into your life, man, oh man. Not only is it such a nightmare to live, but really, like, every day I literally walk around and I'm like, why are my kids being traumatized every day, being with my mother that doesn't let them do any extracurricular activities? They're not into sports. She doesn't care if they wake up in the morning and they get to school on time. My oldest just wakes up, I guess, and doesn't even set an alarm, but she doesn't wake up to see if they've gotten up or left. They come home from school. She doesn't even hardly ever acknowledge them. And then they get one TV to split between the two of them, and they're 13 and 11. And I try to buy them phones and do that whole thing. And, everything's been taken from them. And it's just pathetic because at the end of the day, they always want to use that best interest of the child. They're old enough to freaking say where they want to live, and they've made it very clear where they want to live. But the more that they keep trying to make it be known, the more they're getting in their head and scaring the shit out of them, because when have I ever been able to rescue them yet since this all started? So as much as they want to believe me in what I'm saying, and that I've, hired this attorney and everything, and it's going to work out. Shit, now I even second guess myself the way that it's going. And now that they're like living it out, they thought, once this was really getting to going, they were coming home, type of thing. I never really told them a date or guarantee, but still, it's like so much things play out. But now that they're seeing what's unfolding, it's just, I didn't get Halloween with them. I'm obviously not getting Thanksgiving with them. And my next court date is on December 18th. You think I'm going to get Christmas with them? Hell no. And it's all because of my husband that I've been with for now 16 years. He's the father of all 3 of my kids, but my freaking so-called family that all left me high and dry when this started, that maybe consists of 5 people at that. But they are so upset that I will not leave my husband, even though my mom's on her 3rd marriage and is still unhappy and will never be happy. But yet she has the finger to point at me and say who I'm going to be with. And that's really what is still winning. I played this route of saying, well, to my husband, maybe you do need to go live somewhere else and let me focus on just getting the kids back, because apparently you're still the bad guy. And sure enough, they're using anything and everything against me, even with that. All these questions that I have to answer before I go back to court on like a Zoom meeting are all geared towards him. What am I going to do if he tries to see the kids? What am I going to do if he does this? What am I going to do? I'm like, I thought he was going to be out the picture because he's not living with me. They're still trying to go all those out. And because they knew that he was coming along all those times. But then again, it's like, that just shows you he's been coming along overnight, unsupervised. Obviously, there's been no problems. And we have all the evidence and videos and texts of it. But, you know, they just want to make it seem like I was lying. But my mom was okay for the first year and a half of it. It doesn't make sense. It's just whatever she wants for the day of whatever fits for her, then that's what it's good. And all throughout my case, they kept telling my kids, leave the father, the kids will come home. To the point where the kids would show up at a visit and said, Mom, are you doing what you're supposed to do? And I said, what's that? Did you leave Dad yet? I'm like, no. Well, then we're not going to come home. I'm like, really? That's the story that they're telling you. And I figured every other situation like that, if I would have told my husband to leave, then we would have been separated and the kids still would have never came home. I mean, it's just the typical games that they play, but
that's how they destroy the family.
Well, yeah, divide and conquer. That's what they're known for.
How they destroy
But
the family.
even like having an attorney like Davis that has all these years of experience to still see it play out, I guess maybe thought it was going to be a much more like what he said, slam dunk type of thing. But obviously it's not looking that way. You know what I mean? It's like, they wanted me to start a whole new case plan again.
No.
Are you kidding me? They wanted me to do counseling. They wanted me to do parenting classes.
I feel bad for your husband.
Yeah. You feel bad for what?
I feel bad for your husband.
You keep cutting out. You feel bad for what?
Your husband.
I feel bad for your husband.
Tell me about it. And you want to know what? Hands down, my husband, and he sometimes doesn't like me to say this, but it's the truth. He was the, like, not stay-at-home dad because he had his own business, but he was the one with the kids all the time. I'd come home from work, and the second he'd say something to me is like, they weren't acting like this until you walked in the door, you know, because he was just always much more of, you know, that connection with them. I mean, yes, I love my kids, don't get me wrong, but it was kind of like he knew that they just would run all over me because I'm just like that. But he would give them all the love and attention, but he had them very much to where they were always well behaved. They always had, you know, nice, clean clothes on. He was always doing stuff with them. I mean, he was walking down the street, going to the store with a wagon and had speakers attached to it and lights and stuff. And everyone's stopping him and like, oh, you know, I mean, that kind of dad. And then to see what it's playing out to be, he wants to be, my kids be in sports so bad and be there for them and be like, you know, the coach or the team dad or something. My kids are missing out on all their childhood. Literally. My oldest got to play one season of baseball when they were still in California, and that was it.
But he still has his parental rights. I'm not understanding what the problem is.
Exactly. But the whole point of what we technically have is when our case closed for our visitation, court ordered for both him and I, was 6 hours per week minimum, but it was up to the discretion of my mother, meaning if she wanted to say it was only Zoom, then it could be only Zoom. But if she wanted to let me have them for the whole week because she saw that she got a break, then that's what it was going like. So then that's what it was like. If I told you the amount of money it would cost me just to get the Airbnb and the rental car, easy, $1,000 right there. Then the gas there, the gas back. And, you know, my kids are at that age where, you know, new shoes, okay, they're like Jordans, like 200 and something. I'm like, what? And then like, you know, V-Bucks, Robux, this, that. I'm like, and yet she's getting the $2,600 a month that she spends nothing on them whatsoever. My oldest wanted to play basketball, and it got closer to the time when he needed to like try out. And I said, well, what happened? And he goes, Mom, I just didn't want to do it after all because I felt like it was going to be too much stress having to worry about like when practice was, if I had to bring this, if I had to do that. So I just don't want to do it. I'm like, because you don't have a parent that is there by your side doing all the parental stuff. So therefore now he doesn't even want to play. And that's what my mom is giving them the lifestyle of. She doesn't take them anywhere. The only place they leave on the weekend is when they go to church. But if she's out of town, do they go to church? Hell no. But when I come, for the small time that I'm there, I need to take them to church. Sorry. I don't know. We were raised Catholic, but, you know, I'm Christian. But Catholic, that's just typical of Catholics. She'd be the first one cutting you off out of the church parking lot. Let me tell you that much. I mean, seriously. She tries to make it seem like she's raising my kids to be good, honest, trustworthy boys. And then she's literally doing the exact opposite the next day. How is taking the communication away from a mother and their children a punishment that she gets off of? Literally, whenever they would get in trouble, she would turn this phone off that she apparently had for them And literally, I had no way to contact them and they couldn't contact me. Like, it's just disgusting. It really is. And,
Sounds like a lot
it's
of
just,
mental abuse going on.
oh, tell me about it. I mean, and it's like CPS knows it though. And this is what they're still choosing to do because it's all about the freaking money. I almost wanted to go real, like what my husband would say, and be like, you're not on your white shit. You're actually like hood in a way where I'd be like, hey, mom, you can keep the money. Let me have my kids back. You know what I mean? That's like how desperate I've been getting, to the point where, of course, I would never play out. But you know what I'm trying to say? I mean, it's just like, I don't know. It's really sad because next thing you know, my kids are going to be 18. And now what? Their childhood is gone. My oldest turned 13 in August. Next thing you know, he's going to be 14. 4 more years, he's an 18. And don't let me get started on my youngest. I mean, how do I lose a child that wasn't even born when my case supposedly opened? I mean, everything about everything with CPS, it just really just, ugh, And to know my kids are at that age where they're literally just so over their life and the life that they know that we could give them. Like on the weekends, we would be the parents out with the other parents of the kids that they go to school with, like we did when they were still living here, like for Halloween, when they were still in California. Where did we go trick-or-treating with? With friends from their class, the parents that we got to meet, even though our kids weren't in our care, and, had a house party and everything, and that kind of lifestyle. Or, going to the beach during the summer, they're all into those scooters that look like motorcycles almost, where they're going to kill themselves. But I mean, still that kind of lifestyle, and they're getting nothing of that whatsoever. When my mom gets sick of them on the weekend, she tells them to go outside. What are they going to do in a desert? 100+ degrees. That's when they're going to go get themselves in trouble. And then they're really going to like mess up and not be able to,
You find some cheap 4-wheelers and buy them for your kids and have them delivered to our house.
Oh, I didn't get to know her address until just this last Halloween, even though I knew it from day one and it didn't take long to figure it out. But I wasn't supposed to know her address up until just this Halloween, when obviously she realized I wasn't going to be able to be with the kids, and I had to mail them their costumes. And I just straight up told the kids, I don't care if she fucking knows that I know her address. It's probably in the court documents by now if she wants to look at it that way. But I mailed the costumes, so I know her address. But the whole time when I would go out there, we would have to pick up the kids and drop them off at the McDonald's across the street, like as if she's really keeping her address a freaking secret. But I thought, you know what? No, that's better that way. Because if anything ever happens to her house, she can't say it was me or my husband, because I don't know where she lives.
So, I have this friend who digs deeper than the FBI, the CIA, and the Secret Service.
I'm telling you. God, we're speaking of that, and then I should probably shut up. My kids show up one day when my case closed, but they were still in California, and they said, here, Grandma wants you to sign this. And I said, what's this? She took out a $100,000 life insurance policy on me and was wanting me to sign it because basically she didn't think I was going to live much longer. I said, is this like you taking a hit out on me because you want $100,000? I don't know if I should sign this. And
I would not have signed it.
Mm-mm.
Well, if she would have given the money to my kids, you never know, but fuck, she pays for it every month. But still, if that doesn't go to show you.
But honey, you don't know who's going to go on behind that policy.
That's what I said. She's taking a hit on me, you might as well say.
I'm telling you.
And the sad part about it is, I'm sorry to say, your kids won't see a dime of that damn money.
No, I know they won't. Yeah.
I'm telling you. Deeper than the FBI. The CIA, the Secret Service. She can find anybody.
Well, I think I talked your head off enough, and we were supposed to, or I was supposed to go walk around the mall, so I wasn't lonely. But no, I don't even know what I was going to say after that. Oh, real quick, my youngest. So his birthday is in October, and they were kind of letting us see him like maybe once every 4 months ish or so. And his birthday was in October, and so it's getting closer. And I'm thinking, okay, well, if we're gonna get to see him for his birthday, like I kind of need to know what day, because that's when I was kind of gonna be having Calvin be moving out and stuff, and I wanted Calvin to be able to come along. And like 2 days before his birthday is when they hit me with the text of, sorry, we meant to tell you this earlier, but not only did we move out of California, but we moved clear across the states, and we're now in Ohio.
Mm.
So not only did we not get to see him for his birthday, but now it's like, there we go.
Mm.
That's the other part of their plan, because they let it be known from the very beginning that they were definitely going to be changing his last name when he was adopted, which they still think I don't know what his last name is, which I've known since day one because they slipped up somewhere. And then I knew this was going to be the second part where they were going to move away somewhere and slowly like break the bond. But I mailed him a gift. They let me do a Zoom call when he opened it. And he did say last that they are planning on coming back out in February for a visit so that I could know ahead of time. So, I mean, they have always followed through with what they kind of say for that part, but, I can never contact them and try and ask for a visit or, suggest a visit. And, but I think the main thing that kills us both the most is the fact that we cannot acknowledge ourselves as mom and dad. We acknowledge ourselves as Deidre and Calvin, which is really like, ugh. I mean, to have your son call you Deidre, and for me to refer to Calvin as Calvin to my son, it's like, and then to have my son call him dad. I mean, it's just, but this last visit, let me tell you this, and then I'm really going to end. He just turned 5. So this was in July, the last time we saw my thing. In the beginning, it would kind of take a couple minutes for him to kind of like warm up because he's so excited, but he just doesn't know yet because he was so young. This time, I kid you not, he got out the car and he heard me call him like I always do, like, Kaden, Kaden. He threw down whatever he had in his hands. He comes flying to me to where I'm trying to videotape, and Calvin's always talking shit on me, like, you suck at video. I'm like, well, I need a GoPro so that I can so I'm trying to videotape, and he comes running, jumps in my arms. We had gotten him some gifts like Spider-Man shoes. He looked like he had literally just rolled around in the mud. He looked like he never got a haircut, and he's got the kinky hair, and they probably don't know what the hell to do with it. But he's got nail polish on his like fingers. He looks like literally like shit. But he rips off these sandals that look like unisex, I don't know what, and puts on these Spider-Man shoes. It doesn't have socks. And then we got him a Spider-Man toy, and man, was he playing with this thing. And then the foster parent goes to pick it up at one point, and he rips it out of his hands, and he hits him, and he goes, you're going to break my toy, don't touch it. And I thought, oh, shit, right? And then all of a sudden, he don't care where this foster dad is, where before he kind of like was always, he was like, with me, like off and running, and it was just really like heartwarming in the fact that he's already at that stage where he definitely knows who we are in a way where he's already like, F you. This is who these people are. And the best part is the little foster sister sibling or whatever, she's Hispanic, right? But this time they always bring her along to kind of interfere with anything. But anyways, she was constantly going, Deidre, 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 Deidre. And finally I go, that's so cool that you say my name and you say it the right way, because my name's not easy to say. And she kept saying it, and then all of a sudden the foster dad goes, yeah, well, they talk about you all the time. And I thought to myself, yeah, you damn right you better be talking about me all the time. Keep saying my name, keep saying my name. And I purposely always buy stuff that like he'll either wear or he'll use all the time, like tennis shoes, or like this last time I sent him, the little like water cups now that are all the things. I got him Spider-Man ones. I got him a Spider-Man watch one time or something, Paw Patrol, things that he's always going to be like wanting to wear or use. Hopefully that they let him do that, but to constantly remind himself of us, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I mean, it's just, I don't know what they're going to do when it really comes down to the point if he literally says, okay, so who is Deidre and Calvin? How are they going to beat around the bush? Well, they're technically your mom and dad. Like, it's science. They're your biological mother and father. Like, I mean, they're not obviously trying to make it seem like he's theirs, but then at the same time, I don't know what kind of story they're going to be able to paint to not make it be what it is. And don't forget his brothers, they haven't seen now in freaking 2 years, and they've been hurting too. They want to see their brother, but let's just pray that I get him back by February and we can all have a happy reunion for the time being. But hopefully he speaks his mouth as he gets older and says something like, wait a minute, this all ain't making sense. I don't look like you. I don't believe in this cult shit. And I'm out of here. And just come back home somehow, some way. Or maybe Carter and Colton, will make it be known that you're not where you're supposed to be,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just a whole, like, every other situation, It's like they don't go and get the kids that really need to be taken out of abusive or neglectful situations because nobody wants to adopt them, the damaged good kids. But, the healthy, beautiful, loved kids, of course they want all those kids because that's where they make the money off of it. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Anyways.
We'll be on tomorrow too. We're gonna come on for Thanksgiving. We just don't know what time yet. So you should tune in or come on or
Yeah.
whatever.
No, just let me know, and sure, I'll be there because not like I got my kids to be with.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
But
why we're
anyways,
doing it.
Mm-hmm.
huh? Yeah. No, I
That's
know.
why we're doing it.
I think the hardest part is actually not being able to talk to them more than not seeing them. Because we were at that point now where literally every morning, because they had those cell phones, they were like texting me when they woke up, texting me as they get to school. I was able to send them like how was school or something funny, and then it just boom, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what's driving me every night since they've been out of my care at 7:30. I have an alarm that goes off every night, and they know it. I know it, and so it's like another like dagger every night at 7:30. And it's just how is this even right? I just
Well, you're lucky, Deidre. That's the thing, because most people don't even get that. Like you
no,
gotta
I understand, but
your
it's like
situation. Your situation is tough, yeah. But like most people, once they cut that tie, that's it. They cut their tie. There's no more,
yeah.
visit. There's no nothing. So honestly, like if you could just
But it's
keep
like
fighting
you
this
said one
until
time.
they
It's
can't make
almost kind
school,
of
they'll
like
be all right.
it's kind of like you said one time where it's almost like you hate to say this, but it's like you almost sometimes wish that your grief would be like as if the person sadly passed on, because then you could like have your grief get somewhere. But to know like your kids are out there alive and kicking and you're not able to be like, you know what I'm trying to say? It's like, yeah, I can
Yeah.
see them. Yeah, I could talk to them, but it's sometimes almost harder
Right, it's
because of the
torture.
fact
Right,
that you're
torture.
on that consistent missing out on every little thing because you're not able to be there. And I don't even know if that makes sense, but I mean, I am grateful for whatever I get with my kids, of course, but
Mhm.
sometimes it really is a little bit harder to digest on a daily basis because you know what you're literally missing out on every day in their life because you're not getting to be right there,
Right.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Darren, somebody's saying, are you still doing the
Yeah,
Black
we'll do.
Friday deal
Yep.
on your book?
Yep. We sure will. Absolutely. And then I'm hoping that
you
we
know,
got.
Davis came out with his second edition.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I have it if you want me to send you the digital copy.
Yeah, I
send
want it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
You
do
know
that.
my big mouth wants it.
Tiff wants it. Yeah, we'll
Okay.
look at that. Maybe we'll talk to Davis. Maybe me and Davis's books can go side by side for a Black Friday deal.
We talked about you too at court that day, and he swears that it's something about Miss G has you convinced that Davis does not like you, and he's like, and that's so far from the truth.
I
But the
don't
way
know.
that he gets off with Miss G and seen it in person
Yeah, I
is
don't know.
just it's almost comical, but it's just he's the hardest person to read no matter what. I mean, you could be literally like in tears about like your kids and my case, and then he wants to block me. Come to find out, last time, not this last
Oh,
court date, but
Jesus.
the one before that, I pissed him off in a text message or something. And he goes, the rate you're texting me, and at the time you're texting me, you'll be lucky if I'm still on your case by the time we go to court or something. I think I need to block you. He legit blocked me and didn't even know he did. I was calling him, texting him the day of court, no response. Then here his ass comes walking down the hallway an hour and a half after the time he told me to be there. And then I brought it up to him. I'm like, you blocked me. He's like, no, I didn't. He pulls out his phone. He's like, oh shit, I did block you. And then I was like, I'm your client and you blocked me. And he goes, well, I mean, you guess you pissed me off. Like, it's just like, it's a joke, but it's not a joke. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. But
all this is one big joke. All of this is just what else are you going to do with it? You just got to sit there and take it.
To see him shooting the shit with all these attorneys and stuff in the Orange County courthouse, I mean, I felt like I was with the celebrity. And then
that's how I feel when I'm out with Tiff.
And then the kicker at the end, he tries to tell me a story, but he's basically telling me it's my story. He goes, yeah, I had this client not too long ago basically insist. Oh, because I said at the end, I'm like, what, are you going to wait for your Uber to take you home? I go, well, shit, I'd take you home, but you live like in fucking wherever land. And he goes, no, you wouldn't want to take me home because something. And he goes, actually, speaking of that, I had a client recently that insisted on taking me home every day because she found out that, I charge her for my mileage, I charge her for my time, and I charge her for my Uber service. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, okay, yeah, that would be smarter for her. Next thing you know, I turn around and he's like, oh, my Uber's here. Fucking black SUV, the most expensive Uber. And I'm thinking, yeah, my ass is paying for that right now for him as he gets in and leaves, and it's just like, he's still an attorney for that matter. As sad as that goes. I thought to myself I was doing these shows and thought I was still sticking it out for you for some reason, but I mean, I don't know. I know I'm definitely,
You can always come
honored
to
to
the other
have him
side.
because I didn't even know he was going to be showing up to court for me. I thought he was going to have one of his other lawyers beneath him.
She didn't
But
hear me.
oh, what'd you say?
You can always come over to this side.
That's right.
I'm already in it this deep. I got to go out to the edge.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much.
Bye.
My phone number's up there.
See you tomorrow. Let you do it.
You guys, Carlos, thank you.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Don't forget
Thank you.
Brian's
I took all your time, your friend's time. Tiffany's
time?
friend. Have a good night.
Yeah. And,
Oh, you played my favorite song.
Yes.
I like this song.
This is a great one. And don't forget, Gunner's got Sunday with Jessica Saxton. He's got his show with her, so that's going to be good too. A lot of good stuff coming up, guys. So,
bye.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Tiff and the Punisher. Be our next guest. Do not be afraid. Wipe your tears away. We need to come together. It's our time. So need to tell your friends. Watch the show. If CPS comes, this is where you go. They won't win this war against us. This is our crew. We have your trust. Advocates unlock the others. They care for us. They hold us up high. They make us feel important. Others pass us by. Tiff and the Punisher. Tiff and the Punisher. Coming for CP. Tiff and the Punisher. Tiff and the Punisher. Be our next I've never been a perfect person. I put the cart before the horse. A list of reasons, long as sermons, why I never needed God. Then I heard his voice, so sweet. It put me on my knees. I'm holding on to hope for dear life. With God driving, and I'm finally free at last. God driving, He calls it the reckoning. Blount County started it. Blount County started it. Kentucky doubled down. Gunner and Sharon are finishing it. Shadows where the black bears roam. They kicked in Gunner's door trying to steal his home. No war and no crime, just badges and a grin. But they forgot one thing, mountain men don't bend. He looked him in the eyes and said, you just signed your fate. You touched my blood, now feel the reckoning's weight.
In the Smokies roar.
In Kentucky weep.
Hey, this is the reckoning. Gunner Evers calls it down. Blount County burning to the ground.
Kentucky CPS on their knees tonight. Retaliation thieves gonna lose this fight.
The reckoning is here.
Wake up, America. Draw near. For every stolen child, for every mother's tear. The reckoning is here. Stood like stone when Kentucky crossed the line. Took her babies for revenge, thought they'd break her spine. But every tear she cried turned into molten steel. Forged a blade called justice that no court can conceal. From Maryville to Frankfurt, the corrupt began to run. They woke the sleeping giant and the reckoning begun. Now 1 million parents marched with torches in their hands. From the hollers to the cities, across these stolen lands. Gunner's voice on the podcast was the battle horn blast. Every episode another nail in the empire's casket. He named the day, he named the hour, he named the final stand. He called it the reckoning. Now it's sweeping the land. This is not politics.
This is not left.
This is not left or right. This is the line in the dirt where parents say, not one more child tonight.
Gunner Evers drew it.
Sharon Evers holds it.
America crosses it together.
When the last courthouse falls and the last black robe burns, when the last caseworker flees and the last stolen child returns, we'll raise a monument on the ashes of their throne. Carved in Tennessee granite with these words alone. Here died tyranny at the hands of a dad and mom. The reckoning came, 2020 seats the storm.
This is the reckoning. Gunner Evers spoken loud. Blount County in ruins. Kentucky in a shroud. CPS is finished. Hear the death knell ring. Every stolen child coming home on angel wings.
The reckoning is here. America, no more fear. Gunner, Sharon, your name's forever. The reckoning is now, and it's eternal.
The reckoning, the reckoning, the reckoning.
Mommy and Dad.
it's all about the money. We know they lie. We know this is corruption. Does CPS know what they are doing to the children?
Imagine being a child who has been torn away from their security blanket, their parents, the ones who stop the boogeyman from terrorizing the nights and curing their boo-boos when they scrape their knees. Now just imagine how they mightest feel when the CPS meant to protect them tears them away from their supposed abusers and places them with strangers who have zero comforting skills. They need to be calm. They are confused, lost, panicked, and needing their parents, but CPS took them away for the purpose of saving them. The kids don't even know why, and they are told that the parents they attach to no longer want them. What do you think that does? Do you think that this is how protecting children is supposed to look? Abolish CPS.